Well, how y'all doing this morning? Hope y'all having a blessed morning. It is, see what time it is. I think it's almost 6 a.m. Uh, yeah, so I'm trying to get some of the sunrise here. I think I missed the better part of it. Uh, it's nice and cool out here this morning. All the birds are waking up. And we get all kinds of animals out here. Now, I have another video, pardon me, somewhere where there's 2 bucks, 4 or 5 point bucks, standing in the middle of the parking lot. I'm in the outskirts of Little Rock, and I'm surrounded by like 5 different parks, and I haven't been in one of them. And so animals come through here, and I had a deer peeking out. You see the stockade fence peeking out around the fence there the other night. It was early in the morning, but it got scared off and went hopping off. I'm about to get me a bag of apples so I can toss some out there once in a while when I see one. We get a raccoon that walks that stockade fence all the way down to the dumpster and sits on that fence trying to figure out how it might get into the dumpster when the lid is open on it. I don't think it would have a problem getting in. I think it would have a definite problem getting out. But it did that a couple nights in a row, like it was just sitting there trying to figure out how it would get out of that dumpster if it went into it. We have a lot of birds here, a lot of cardinals. We had a cardinal last year that was pink, almost a peach pink kind of color. And I looked that up, and supposedly they're pretty rare. I ain't seen it this year. I'm hoping to see it again. But the animals really utilize what little bit of forest we have here. Now, that goes straight downhill right there, and there ain't a whole lot of it. It's a strip between here and the road down there. Ain't no sidewalks or anything. I'd love to have me one of them little electric scooters. Yeah, I'd be a scooter in full. I don't get out that much. Now, the Arkansas River is about a mile from me. We get barges go through there all the time. They'll toot their horn, and I'm like the train station is right over there, and I'm like 8 miles from the airport. So it's nothing to hear a train in the middle of the night. Yesterday there was some barges going through there because they were tooting. You get to know the sounds of stuff. And my neighbor was good enough to run me up to Kroger's and to get my money order. And I told him, I said, I was told I had to pay by a postal money order. And other people are telling me they pay by check. And he said, I pay by check. So I'm going to be looking into getting me some checks. But I've had some trouble with my bank. Twice there was, actually more than twice. It hit me the day after Christmas. I got a notification where somebody had used my card, and they knew it wasn't me because of my banking habits. Now, to me, that's kind of good, and it kind of ain't, because they watch your banking habits, okay? That's somebody watching how I spend my money. I particularly don't care for that. But they automatically shut down your card, right? And I had to fight $40 worth of overdraft fees and prove that I didn't make those transactions. And in 6 months, 3 times, my card was shut down. And it takes 10 days for them to get you a new card unless you want to pay them. And I told them, I said, I don't know how I'm supposed to do that. You froze up my bank account. And not only would I not do that, I don't see why I should have to. And the last time it happened in the space of 3 weeks. Happened once, 3 weeks later it happened again. And I had to pay a late fee on my rent. I'm on a very limited income. All right. And my rent was late, and I hate that. I pay my bills on time. And I had to pay a $25 late fee, which hurt me. That was my... Now, I do get assistance with food, but, your cleaning products, your health and beauty aid, your paper products, all that you got to pay yourself, so I had to go without that. But I had enough to get me through. And it gets hot here. It gets humid. And that's not good for somebody that has arthritis, but it is what it is. Just before winter hit, I made a video where I made stuffed green peppers. And they're good. I don't put rice in mine. I have a recipe. I'm a hypoglycemic, and I had a hypoglycemic cookbook. Don't have it anymore. And it was a recipe for meatloaf, and it was so good. It's like a versatile recipe, and I use it for my meatballs and my meatloaf, and when I stuff my peppers. And I was carrying my crock pot to the fridge and dropped it, and it broke in like 3 different places, and shards went everywhere. And I've been saving to get me another one. I finally got me another one. I got a good deal on it. I'll be making a video on that. It's a 7-quart. It's stainless steel, and I love anything that's stainless steel. And now the 6-quart was $19.97, and the 7-quart was $21.97. So, yeah, buddy, that's from me. And there was like 6 left, so I put in an order for that, and it arrived. Because it gets so hot here. Now, I didn't mind so much because winter was about to hit, and I used my stove a lot in the winter. So I just went to putting everything in the stove and using the oven. But in the summer, you don't want to do that. I have a gas stove, and I love a gas stove. I prefer a gas stove, all right? If power goes out, now it's an electric ignition, but I can use a match. I can use a lighter. If the power goes out, I still have a stove. I can still stay warm as long as gas is still coming into the apartment. But now that summer's here, I'm seriously missing my crock pot. I don't want to turn on that oven any more than what I have to. And I got my crock pot. The next thing I want to get is an electric skillet. Yeah. I think that would be a big help to me. Although, I think they splatter stuff all over the place more than if you work on your stove. And they're hard to adjust the temperature. I do not like electric. It is hard to get your temperature right. Not allowed to grill here, but I do have a broiler on my stove, but I ain't been able to get the door open. Next time maintenance is in, I'm going to ask them to jerk that door open, and I'm going to get me some oven cleaner, because I can't grill anything here. I'd like to have me one of them George Foreman grills, but I don't know if it would be the same. I think, though, I'm going to get me a grill anyway and just keep it up, because if, the grid does go down, I'm going to cook. And I'm not going to care what management says. I'm going to cook. I'm going to eat. So, management is pretty good here. I mean, she's very bossy, though. I guess she feels like she has to be in order to have a handle on everything here. But, we've really never had any words, but I helped a neighbor out, and it helped them save their deposit on their apartment. And she knew I had helped her. And when I waved to say, hey, how you doing? At that point, she wouldn't even wave at me. She wouldn't even say hello to me. But if helping a neighbor that has helped me and been a friend to me, especially, makes me unpopular with management. I'm sorry, but that's the way it is. So it's getting really light out here. Yeah, I think I've missed the best part of the sunrise. We do have beautiful sunrises here, and in the fall we have beautiful sunsets. There is no telling how many birds occupy this small amount of forest here. And we do have nocturnal birds, so you hear bird song day and night here. My plants are doing all right. My neighbor was asking me about that the other day. He said, "What you got going in there?" And I said, "I got some tomatoes and some peppers, some hot peppers." He said, "I think the person downstairs is trying to compete with you." And I said, "Well, I don't think they're trying to compete with me as much as they're just trying to help their plants out, and because they'll put them on their car and drive them to the other side of the parking lot to get more sun on them." And I said, "Well, you got to take care of them." He said, "Yeah, I know, because they're living things." And that struck me funny. I wondered if he watched any of my YouTube videos, because I made that statement in one of my videos, that plants are living things, and you take on the responsibility of them. And I'm hoping they do well. I feel good about putting them out. I do. I mean, if you love to garden, it's like an itch that has to be scratched, and that's pardon me, that's what I told my neighbor. You just got to get it done. Now, there's a little Asian lady out back. She puts in a garden every year, and oddly enough, this year I don't see a single vegetable in her patio garden. I think that's odd. Last year she had all kinds of vegetables. This year she doesn't. But she does have some oxalis, which is one of my most favorite plants. And I was surprised to see that. So it's a quiet Sunday. And I'm just going to sit out here on my front porch and relax a little bit. I hope you all have a blessed day. Bye-bye.